If you're looking at the Dell Latitude E6400, you're looking at a laptop that comes from a completely different chapter of the computer industry. This is a traditional business notebook built around practicality rather than the thin and light designs that dominate the market today. The design immediately gives that away. The Latitude E6400 has a classic professional appearance, with a substantial chassis and a straightforward layout. There's nothing particularly flashy about it, and that's intentional. The focus was on creating a dependable machine for business users who needed a computer for everyday work. Compared with many modern laptops, the E6400 feels larger and more substantial. It follows the older business laptop philosophy, where durability, accessibility, and physical connectivity were important considerations. The 14.1-inch class display provides a practical workspace for basic computing. It's large enough for documents, web pages, emails, spreadsheets, and general office work without making the machine excessively large. But there's an important point to understand about the display. This is an older laptop. You shouldn't expect the sharpness, viewing experience, brightness, or color performance of a current premium notebook. The display is better viewed as a functional workspace rather than a centerpiece for entertainment or professional visual work. For everyday productivity, though, the screen can still do its job, particularly when the individual panel is in good condition. The keyboard is another part of the E6400 experience that reflects its business-oriented design. The traditional layout gives you a familiar typing experience, making it suitable for writing documents, responding to emails, entering information, and working on spreadsheets. That practical approach continues throughout the machine. The E6400 comes from a period when physical ports were much more common on laptops. Instead of relying heavily on adapters and dongles, traditional business notebooks generally provided a wider range of physical connectivity. For someone who works with older peripherals or simply prefers having direct physical connections, this can still be useful. Now, when it comes to performance, the exact specifications matter. The Latitude E6400 was available in different configurations, so there isn't one universal hardware setup that applies to every machine. Processor, memory, storage, display, and operating system specifications can vary depending on the specific unit. That means checking the exact configuration is extremely important. Don't assume that every E6400 has the same processor or memory capacity just because the model name is identical. If you're considering a particular unit, verify its specifications before making your decision. For basic computing, the E6400 can still be relevant in the right situation. Simple web browsing, document creation, email, spreadsheets, lightweight software, and other basic productivity activities are much more appropriate than demanding workloads. But this is not a machine designed for modern high-performance computing. If you're planning to play demanding modern games, edit high-resolution video, work with complex 3D applications, or run resource-intensive professional software, an older Latitude E6400 is not the type of laptop you should be targeting. The hardware simply belongs to an earlier generation, and that's perfectly fine because the key with an older laptop is understanding its purpose. The E6400 was created as a business productivity machine, not as a modern gaming or content creation system. Another interesting aspect is the traditional construction. Older business laptops were often designed with maintenance in mind, and the E6400 follows that philosophy. Compared with some extremely compact modern notebooks, its traditional construction can make certain maintenance tasks more straightforward. However, the age of the machine means condition is incredibly important. If you're evaluating a used E6400, don't just look at the model number. Examine the actual machine. Check the display for damage or unusual problems. Inspect the keyboard and touchpad. Look at the hinges and chassis. Check the available ports. Make sure the charger is included and functioning. And pay attention to the condition of the storage drive and battery. The battery is especially important with an older laptop. Even if the original battery performed well when the computer was new, years of use can reduce battery capacity. So battery performance should be treated as something to verify rather than something to assume. Storage is another area worth checking. If the particular E6400 configuration uses an older mechanical hard drive, a compatible solid-state drive could potentially make everyday operation feel considerably more responsive. However, compatibility should be confirmed for the exact machine before attempting an upgrade. Memory configuration is also worth checking, particularly if you expect to multitask. Again, the exact upgrade options depend on the individual hardware configuration. So where does that leave the Dell Latitude E6400? It's best viewed as a traditional business laptop that can still make sense for lightweight computing when the hardware condition and configuration are appropriate. It could be useful as a secondary computer, a basic productivity machine, or a simple system for tasks that don't require modern processing performance. But if you're looking for a primary machine capable of handling demanding modern applications, intensive creative workloads, or current generation gaming, you should look toward newer hardware. The E6400 isn't about modern specifications. It's about simplicity. It's about a physical keyboard, a traditional chassis, practical connectivity, and a design philosophy that prioritized everyday business use. And that makes this laptop interesting even today. It represents a period when business laptops were built with a very different set of priorities. It won't deliver the performance or modern features of today's laptops, but it doesn't need to. Its appeal is in its straightforward approach to computing, and that's what makes the Latitude E6400 worth taking a closer look at.